Hello! This is a spooky episode of the one episode rule.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
Magpie. And also, there's others.
I'm Blackle, and I love to watch things with my eyeballs.
Alright.
I am a scary ghost. Ooh. Or you could call me Joey, I guess.
I
if
think-
you want.
Wait, if you're gonna do that, don't we all have to do that?
I think we did this exact gag last year. Because I think I just fucking tapped out and said I'm Emma but dead.
This continues to be true.
Hi, I'm Frank Emma Stein. The doctor. Not the monster. The monster's on her way.
I'm the monster.
I'll unleash the monster depending on what we watch today.
Yep.
So, welcome to yet another spooky episode of the one episode rule, which is our annual theme for all of October.
Because we're gonna be here anyway, so we might as well watch some dumb horror.
Got enough
It
of
feels
those
like
on
I
the
haven't been on the
podcast.
podcast in 3 decades.
It has been a while, Black.
You haven't been
been?
around for
At least-
30 years.
At least a whole week, maybe more. I don't.
You missed Corpse Party.
Missed
You
Corpse
probably
Party?
wanted to miss Corpse Party.
Probably wouldn't have liked Corpse Party very
Yeah,
much.
you didn't really miss much.
Okay, thank you.
So does anyone have any anime-related subjects to talk about during our introduction to our anime podcast?
I've got some news, but that can come last.
I've just been watching more Kai. Oh, like, it answers many questions about Higurashi.
We're all gonna get sucked into that vortex eventually.
You got to. You got to. Don't you have curiosity?
I'm not saying I don't want to. I'm saying I'm afraid what will happen to me if I do. I'm afraid of the person I'll become.
Now, I have given
Afterwards.
Emma a lot of the spoilers.
That's true.
I did spoiler a lot. I just straight up was like, Emma, do you want spoilers?
Yeah, you were like, do you want spoilers? But with like all of the like unrestrained eagerness of like a grandma asking if you want seconds.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright.
I feel like Joy gets their power from, like, giving juicy details about certain types of media.
I mean, yeah, kinda. Listen, if I have my interest, it's just like all consuming. It's on my brain and I must dump the
I
information.
think I asked you about Warrior Cats at one point, and it felt like
I gave you like a whole dissertation.
No, it literally felt like a serial killer had met another serial killer, and they're like, "Oh, I finally have someone to show the body to." Yes.
Oh my god! That's so strong.
Alright.
Pretty
Well,
much.
are we ready for the news then?
Yeah, let's have the news.
Alright, we got some announcements. Kaguya-sama Loves War is going to continue in Season 3 and an original video animation, reminding me that I have not watched Season 2, to my complete shame.
I haven't even finished Season 1, I don't think.
You should watch that, it's good.
Emma?
Hello?
It's nothing.
Sounded like you were crying.
No, I just cut this out. This is not podcast related at all. I just saw a fucking headline that just says "Moon's wet," and then another one right below it that said "She's wet, folks."
I am absolutely not cutting this out of the podcast.
Please,
Maybe we should talk about the wet moon, because I think that's really exciting. I think that is also anime related.
Every week,
No.
I beg Magpie to cut out the dumbest shit that I say, and he never, ever does. He just makes me look like an asshole on the internet in front of all of our followers.
Moving on.
God.
Yes.
We got another show that I particularly want to see, which is they're making Way of the House Husband into a Netflix anime in 2021.
Oh my god,
Yes.
It's fucking
I'm so
rad.
excited.
what? That's awesome! I
You
had no
wanna-
idea.
We got key art. Do you want to see key art?
Please.
Let me grab it. He looks he looks exactly as he should.
Oh my god. Wow. That's
Yeah.
so exciting.
That's gonna be fantastic.
It's hype.
I'm hyped. All right. So yeah, we got the news out of the way. We got the weekly breakdown out of the way. So yeah, let's watch something really weird in a really weird format. So
Oh, good.
this being immediately before Halloween, I feel freed up to break the format a little bit.
Oh shit.
So this week
Sure.
we're going to be watching The World YAMIZUKAN. And we're going to be watching 3 episodes of it because it's a 5-minute one.
Oh, okay. All right.
Huh.
I'm doing it on
Okay.
purpose this time.
Okay.
I trust you. I think.
I've seen a number of things that make it seem very interesting. So that's what we're
All
going to do.
right. Let's check it out.
Yeah, let's pop it open. All right, we're back, and that was different than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah?
So, first of all, like, we had to watch 5 episodes because the amount of content was so scarce that 3
we didn't,
episodes was not enough.
We didn't
content.
account for the total runtimes having part of it eat up by basically the pre-roll and post-roll advertising
Yeah.
such, and the intro and outro.
Yes.
Yeah.
So each episode of YAMIZUKAN is like 3 minutes tops.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
I have titled every episode.
Great.
Well, I didn't.
Can we all give them our own titles really quick?
Okay.
I've been
Okay.
waiting for this.
The first episode was called Horny Abduction Story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or horny
Correct.
alien abduction. Well, there's a thing here. Is I think each one of these is drawn by different people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I kind of
let's-
got that vibe too.
Let's talk about what the show was format-wise, and then
Yeah.
and then
Yes.
get
It'll-
into our ambiguously
inform the
funny
rest of it.
goofs. Yeah. So it's called Sekai no Yami Zukan, which it is translated as the world Yamizukan, which is like weird, but I guess there's no real way to translate. Yamizukan is literally just dark picture book.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So it would be like the world's dark picture book sounds really strange. So they just kind of went ahead and only translated half of the title.
Otherwise, it's I picked it because it was mentioned as having a very unique art style. I did not know it was going to play out as like an animatic.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a storybook kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is actually fine, but
It's like
Yeah.
it's like a horror anthology thing. Each episode is approximately 30 seconds long. And they're all just like these really short horror stories told in the format of like someone reading a picture book to you.
Yeah.
like scary stories to tell in the dark.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Except
absolutely.
not as fucking mortally terrifying.
Well, without the illustrations, scary stories loses a lot of its potency.
I guess
Yeah.
you're right about that.
This show reminded me a lot of Freaky Stories, which is a Canadian show that I don't think anybody other than me has seen on this podcast.
Nope.
But
I don't know what that is.
it is almost identical, except that it's longer and more animated. And instead of having the intro of the show is a bunch of like creepypasta pictures.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it, but it's just like they're like almost like I don't want to rag on the show too much, but it does feel like they're trying too hard, at least in the opening.
It's got an OP that's less anime and more like fucking like unsolved mysteries.
The opening was like literally any like try hard ARG.
It's live action for one thing. So
Yeah. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's bad in it per se, but like it has a specific aesthetic, which I feel like is pretty well encapsulated by like a lot of the kind of like
any
horror,
show or product you've ever, or video game even, that you've ever watched that has an intro that has like a I don't know, an alt rock soundtrack, and will eventually show you a picture of a weird baby doll, even though it has nothing to do with the plot. That's what we're kind of talking about here.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just like, ooh, a porcelain doll with a spider on it. I'm spooked.
But to compare that to Freaky Stories, which this show almost sort of reminded me of, Freaky Stories, it begins with a bug puppet explaining things to you, like giving an intro, like almost like a Rod Sterling ass like bug puppet. Like here. I'm sorry, I've derailed this podcast to talk about Freaky Stories, the YTV original show.
Yeah,
okay.
Can we talk about this one?
Oh my god, that's me.
Oh god.
I found the intro charming for reasons I don't know if I can explain. Like there was just something about the like goofy lo-fi like horror,
the super highly saturated
contrast,
old buildings. You know what that reminded me of was like kind of those 2000s era computer point and click games.
Yeah,
That's what I thought of.
Even though I never played the game, it does remind me of Yumi Dicky.
But yeah, so there's something to it. It doesn't. The OP doesn't overstay its welcome.
Oh, and then the claymation hand comes and grabs the book. I liked that.
Yeah, the frame by frame hand.
Yeah,
like that's probably like the only animation that's ever in the show.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So yeah, let's get into specifics, I guess. Where do we want to start? Do we just want to go chronologically here?
Sure.
Sure. So let's talk about the first one.
Let's talk about the
horny abduction story.
Horny abduction story.
Okay.
And I feel like this might have been the weakest one, in my opinion.
I literally was thinking that. It was, to me, definitely the weakest.
Because, like, okay, so it starts out and the dude is like, my wife has been leaving my house while I'm sleeping for the last several nights. And he decides to follow her. And then they get abducted. And then the art gets really horny. And in a way that I can't fully articulate.
Yeah, they're all naked in these tubes.
There's a bunch of naked tube people.
Yeah.
It's very
But they got abducted by the aliens.
The art style for this episode is very like 70s in a weird way.
Yeah.
And,
yeah,
like,
kinda.
But it also reminded me a little bit of the game Neverending Nightmares. You guys know that one? It's told in a similar style. It's that game where you play like a little boy and you're having these like nightmares, and every time you die, you just wake up in another nightmare.
Is that black and white?
Yeah, it's the black and white one that's like it's got like the scribbly sort of style.
Yeah, I played some of that.
Yeah, and this show reminds me of that in a lot of ways. Or at least the art style for the first one did a lot.
And yeah, it was really horny in a very specifically 70s way.
It's really 70s cheesecake horny.
Had some super weirdo aliens too, not like the usual green men.
Yeah.
The alien designs were kind of interesting.
They were like a gas.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't hate the art, but I didn't like the arc of the story. Like, it was just like so like we went to a place and then something happened. But I mean, like, they are pretty restricted by the length of the show. But like after seeing the other episodes, I feel like they use the time better.
You can do a lot in 2 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
And it feels like they didn't. I'm exaggerating the time length. But you can do a lot with like the constraints, and some of them did do a lot with the constraints.
Yeah,
but
some
this
of them
one
did pretty good. This one just kind of missed the mark in creativity.
Speaking of ones that did a lot with the constraints, how about that second one? Or
Frosty goes bad.
or a snowman helps me kill my kind of mean dad.
That one was like, I was scared that it was just gonna keep getting worse.
It reminded me of the film Jack Frost starring Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
But like, you know, the one with like the snowman puppet that's like clearly supposed to be George Clooney, but they couldn't get Clooney for the movie.
Yes.
This is the only one I wrote a note for, and the note just says "Falling Dad."
I think my favorite part of the show was when Frosty the Snowman just like belly bumped the dad.
Yeah, he just yeeted him off the cliff, and he
this episode made me laugh hysterically.
Just fucking bodies the dad.
He fell for 15 hours.
And then he was at the bottom of the ravine and he was still fucking alive.
And that would usually be like the turning point in the story, but it cuts back up to the little boy and he's just like, yeah, we killed my dad.
Yeah, fuck my dad.
Fuck
Thanks, Snowman. I love you.
They both put their hands up like, yay!
I still can't go over the fucking like tween animation of like the snowman just flying towards his dad.
Yeah, it was good. It was like boink.
And then the kid's like, I love you, snowman. I would die for you. And then the snowman's like, oh, you would die for me. And then the fucking snowman turns into the Yeti for some reason.
Well, he was disguising.
Yeah, there's just a Yeti hiding in there.
And he's just like, cool, guess I'll break your spine now.
Snap. When the snow started falling off its face, that part was kind of cool. The art for that I liked.
It did look gross, but in a way that like I was like, good, you did it. You made it look gross.
Yeah, you did the horror. You did it.
Yeah. Yay.
You did a horror.
You did the horror, and it's just me raising my hands up in jubilation, like the kid in the snowman in that picture that Joey sent.
Yeah, rise.
Okay.
Rise.
Okay. So what do we think about episode 3?
Car trouble.
Car trouble.
This one was okay. This I will say I also laughed at this one, but this one also probably creeped me out the most.
I think it was the strongest one. And maybe I do think it was one of the strongest ones.
I will say that some of the faces in that episode are very silly.
Yeah. Some of the art in this episode was really the scariest part of it. I want to go back and just for like just a second and say that the Snowman episode's art style was like it looked like someone's like Hitalia animatic on YouTube from like 2006.
I did think that the art in the second one was the worst, but it wasn't the worst overall.
I don't know. It reminds me of like a children's book about Christmas.
That too. Sure, why not?
To me, it's like almost like a dark comedy is how I took it.
It's like funny.
It's funny. It's not supposed to be, but it is.
But it is. Okay, so back to the third one, Car Trouble. Which I think, what is the actual? It's like the Reaper racing through the desert, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or Frederick Knudsen gets a ride. Anyway.
Yeah. Holy shit, you're right.
I'm just looking at this picture.
Oh, God.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
Fuck.
Yeah, I like my title better. But I think this one was the better one. I did think it went even though the show is so short, I did feel like it dragged a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think it might have just been because they reused the same image of them sitting in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
A bunch
they,
of times,
they didn't.
yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't draw enough frames.
Yeah. And I
I
also
feel
sorry.
I feel like this style of animation where it's just like still images would work if you don't go back to previous images.
And also, if you don't just try and move one still image around to imply motion,
Yes,
because it's
that
very
was one
funny.
of the was
Yeah.
one of the parts in this episode that I laughed hysterically at because they showed the front of the car and they just went woo woo, wiggled it around the frame a bunch,
And they were
like oh they're going
playing
really fast.
scary sounds. Yeah.
It could have only
this-
been worse if he was just in there going like, whoa, whoa,
Whoa, whoa, oh.
like
So yeah,
fucking Bill
the
and
plot
Ted.
of this one.
Yeah,
the plot.
Plot. A man is hitchhiking through a desert, and a beautiful woman picks him up, and she just keeps saying the same words over and over, and he keeps trying to get her to let him out of the truck, and she won't. And then it turns out she's part of the truck,
Part of the truck.
And then the
Part of the
truck
part of the
eats him.
ship, part of the crew.
Yeah,
And she eats him.
it's all. Yeah, the truck is using her as a lure, like an angler fish.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
The other part that okay, go ahead.
This episode is like it was the first one where I realized what bothered me about the other ones, which was that it feels like all of these could drop the last 2 lines and instantly be better.
This one was
Yes.
really good, and it was really funny to me at the very end, because at the very end, the truck is driving away, and the guy is going and in the distance, it's out there, and the narrator is just like, what actually happened was the truck
Yeah.
was alive, and it was using the lady to lure people in so it could eat
So that
them
it could
and
consume
run on
them.
its blood.
Right. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
extremely funny. Like
The over explanation.
Yeah.
They tried to do a Rod Sterling, but they didn't do it.
Oh man.
They all have the same, like, I don't know exactly how to quantify what the issue is, but they all have this same, like, combination of explains too much and resolves too little.
yes,
For me.
absolutely.
Yes.
I almost feel like this show feels like it should be intended for children, but I know it's not.
But, like,
It's
yeah,
not
because, like,
appropriate.
how fucking could it be?
It can't be.
Can't be that. So yeah, that one I would think was the strongest of the bunch.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
What was the next one? Oh
Crop
The
god,
next one.
am I forgetting? Oh god.
Oh,
The fucking
the
crop circles, but not how you
the
think.
crow,
would be
yeah, the
based.
crop
Yeah.
circles.
crop circles, but not how you expect.
Yeah, I think
Mr.
it was good that they
Circles.
didn't just have it be aliens.
Yeah.
Like it
I
wasn't
thought it was
subversion, so
Interesting. It reminded
also-
me so strongly of, like, one of the like one of the less glamorous SCPs. You know what I mean?
Oh
Just
yeah.
like-
Yeah, the way that it looked.
Yeah, well, the way that it looked, and also just the story itself about like
Sure.
bugs that eat corn in a crop circle
In a
shape.
perfect circle, yeah. And they're also made of like shiny
Yeah.
metal and they can slice you up if you get close to them, but if you stay away, you're fine,
If
probably.
you just run
yeah,
in the
it's
house.
like a plus 20 rated like 2000 series article.
They didn't even have to run into the house. They were just
They
like
just kind of
standing in the yard outside of the cornfield at the end. You can see them. They're just like watching, like, ah, shit.
They're
It's like,
just
oh,
watching
corn.
sadly as their corn gets devoured. They're like, oh man.
oh
our
fuck, that's
crops.
ruined.
I did think that the art was the most competent
I
all
liked.
the-
I think I liked the art in this one the most.
Yeah.
It so also just as a the basic gist. It's like kind of hard to talk about these episodes because like I get so distracted by the details that I forget to say
Yes.
the literally one sentence summary of all of the plots. And the
Right.
summary for this one is a man and his son find crop circles in their cornfield, and although they initially believe it is caused by a UFO, it turns out to be a swarm of unidentifiable insects
Who just like eat all the corn straight to the
who
ground.
just eat all the corn.
Yeah. The way you
I-
said that, Emma, it sounded like you were reading verbatim from a Wikipedia article.
No, I just am a Wikipedia article. But yeah, this one I liked the art, although I kind of wish we hadn't gotten a close up of the bugs because they look really doofy.
They did
And
do like a bad job on the
Okay,
bugs. I'm sorry.
I was a lot more scared of them when they were just like a weird glowing cloud that
Yeah.
you
I
can
was-
distantly tell were bugs.
You could see their
I-
tiny little sparkles in there, and you knew.
I was delighted by the bugs because they reminded me of the critters from Critters.
That's
They're
fair.
so
They also
ugly.
kind of looked like the the Langoliers.
A little bit.
I was also delighted because at this point I had accepted that this show was gonna be like doofy. So I was just like,
A
Yeah,
little doofy.
kinda.
come on,
You're
show
just
us
like, I'm here for it now.
and then like they showed me the fucking like the teeth and the gums and like I was like, yay.
Like, that's funny.
These little bugs with gingivitis.
Yeah.
I also thought, and this was a problem again that I realized, like, oh, all of these had this problem. Was like, I don't know what it is. There's just something not very scary or very enjoyable to read or hear about precise measurements in
Yeah.
in prose. You know, when it was like
They were 20 millimeters
they were
long.
20 millimeters long, and it's like, okay, just say like they're little.
They're
just say they're
tiny.
small.
the size of a pencil. I don't know, like
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, even that would be the size of a pencil.
All right, so the fifth and final episode we watched, because we jacked it up to 5,
Mhm.
was
It's called Robot Time smiley face.
I kind of really like this one because it's
I
very
like this one.
But it was
This one
also
was- Oh god.
it also suffered the most from just drop the last few lines, please.
Yes,
Fuck, man.
absolutely. Oh god. Okay,
It
so
was
the
so
plot.
campy.
Like
I kinda
5
like the
different
plot.
times.
The plot. There's a guy. He's just kind of sitting there in a restaurant. He's eating,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden,
He looks like a Flintstones character.
he does
Yeah,
look like a
everybody in this
Flintstones
one-
character.
Everybody in this one looks like a Flintstones character.
So he's waiting for his meal. That's what it was, and no one was coming to take his order. And
Like
so
a
another
tower.
person in the restaurant got really mad, and his reaction was to punch his waiter, who turns out to be a robot, and the robotic faceplate falls off, and you can see all the little gears inside. So the first guy is like, "Oh shit, they're robots," and he's like looking
Everybody
around,
in
and he
here is
realizes everybody is a robot, and so he flees from the restaurant. And he tries to get on the subway, which is packed with people, but there's already robots on the subway too. And he's like, "Oh, nope, I can't go in there." And so he lives in the subway for 6 months.
Leading a
God.
group of ragtag survivors like it's fucking Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, with the robot rebels, I guess. And he's like, "I gotta find my wife and my child. He's got to get home and find his wife." So 6 months later, and the wife is still safe. But by the time he gets there, that's just when they're being attacked by the robots. And he's like, "I will save you," and he saves them from the robots.
By the way, the line here is the greatest in the whole show, which is, "I destroyed him easily with my gun."
Yeah,
God.
he does that.
Also, this one felt like it packed the most into the time allotted.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Yeah, it
there was a lot
did.
of places.
Yeah.
So then he's like,
Which-
"Okay, my family's part of the resistance now. Let's go somewhere. I'm your leader now."
I
Because
became the leader of the resistance.
So then they all go into like a cave, and suddenly the door shuts behind all of them, And it turns out he was a robot, actually.
He was
He just had to trick them.
Yeah.
he was playing the long con.
Yeah. And then he has like a whole speech where he's like, it may have been a roundabout method, but I had to join the humans so that they thought I was one of them to blah, 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 blah.
And then
And
you
then-
think it's over, and in the future, another robot man takes a fucking viewfinder off.
I think it's him. I think it's just
It's
a
him.
completely different art style.
Oh my god!
It is him. It is him.
Because I
You
think
look,
that's his family as well.
It's just like, and
Yes.
they're just like, I was just reliving the past. Oh, back when the human times.
Back when humans still
And-
existed?
And he's like, yes, back when humans existed. Thank God everyone on Earth got turned into a robot now.
I mean, it did look like a utopia, so like,
And it's like,
They all look
flying
kind of
cars.
happy.
it,
And then the
maybe
narrator's
chill
like,
there.
this future could be closer than you think.
Which is like
Da-da-da.
fucked up because the narrator for all the other episodes, the narrator's third person, but for this one it's first person. And so like
Yeah.
the whole he's like, my family that I killed because I'm a robot. And then
Yeah.
he's like, and it could happen to you.
It really is it's very like original Outer Limits or Twilight Zone.
Yeah. Again, one of the less glamorous Twilight Zone episodes.
Yeah.
I love that it's just like this future could happen to you, and then you look at these robots with their no eyes and their heads full of gears.
You're just
God.
like, yeah, maybe it could. I
They're
don't
fucking
know.
mechanical.
Also, I feel like that one might have suffered from like artists working separately from like a writer, because there was a moment where like everyone's just sitting around smiling, but all the robots were frowning in the drawing.
Yeah.
Uh, this is a
Oh.
weird show, y'all.
This was weird. I kind of had fun. You know what? I wanted to compare it to the Junji Ito collection.
Yeah.
This
This-
is better.
Is better cuz like
It's
okay, to me
different.
they're sillier for sure,
Yeah.
but they're so short that you can just gobble them up like little
Yeah.
potato chips.
I would
And
rather
I
come
think-
to this like cheesy Halloween theme party
Yes.
than watch badly adapted Junji Ito.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, because like here's my thing about them is like these first of all, these are totally like original works and they're like way shorter. So like even if they kind of suck, it's like fine because it was only 3 minutes and I'll just watch the
Yeah.
next one.
Yeah.
But also like the Junji Ito collection felt like it didn't feel like it was made by people who were scared of Junji Ito.
No.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it just kind of felt like they were like, oh, Junji Ito's scary, so we'll just do his thing and then it'll be scary and we don't have to do anything to
Right.
help it.
Yeah, we don't have to do any editing or cast any people who are
Yeah.
talented.
Or even pick any of the scary ones.
Yeah.
We'll just redraw everything with a really thick like Flash MX 2004 brush, and then it'll be great.
Yeah. So
Well, this
yeah,
one-
overall I liked it.
Yeah, this one's got heart.
It does.
Yeah.
It surely does.
Even though the heart is a snowman saying, "Yeah, I killed your dad."
Yeah, good.
Headbutting the father.
I feel like there's a lot of kinship between like this and like Sven Gulli.
I don't.
What
I'm
it
not
feels like to
familiar.
me. It's the weirdo on TV that runs the old monster movies.
Okay.
He's got the makeup and the top hat and everything.
Mhm.
And the bad jokes where they throw rubber chickens at him. So yeah. Well, what do y'all think, y'all? Watch
You know,
more of this?
I 100% am gonna watch more of like their little silly, goofy, kind of creepy themed potato chips, and I'm into it. I dig it.
Yeah, you can
Creepy
just
potato chips.
creepy potato chips.
Wow.
I could sit here probably and finish all of these within like the hour. You know what I'm saying?
Creepy and vinegar.
Ketchup flavor.
Spooky and salt. I don't know.
How many are there?
We watched 5. I think there's 8 more.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Oh
god.
wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I
I'll
think
watch it
maybe.
at 2x speed.
God, I think maybe this is what I'll do for Halloween this year. Maybe I'll just put these on and just kind of, just kind of vibe. Just
Michael,
absorb it.
if you watch these at 2x speed, it's just going to be one note. It's just going to be a.
You're just gonna hear. You're just gonna hear some screams and then just like a flood of measurements in centimeters.
I mean, that's how life in Canada is like. So.
The tentacles were 1.5 meters long.
And weighed 32 kilograms.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch more of these. I see that episode 7 appears to not be drawings. It appears to be photographs.
Oh my god.
Oh, good. Oh,
Whoa, and it's
that's terrible.
clowns.
And the clown looks in the
It's a
thumbnail
clown.
exactly like Sam Riegel. So I'm really excited for that.
Let's see.
Okay.
Episode 8 is called The Mysterious Native, which upsets me and makes me
Uh-oh.
paranoid.
Uh-oh.
That's no good.
Not good.
Goofy.
Yikes.
The episode 9 from the thumbnail looks like it was drawn by the people who did the music video for Take On Me.
Oh my god, it does!
Actually,
Jesus.
to me, it looks like a combination of that and those like WikiHow images.
Yeah, how to take me on.
How to touch this weird box.
I do. Okay,
No.
I do want to watch.
How to get gone in a day or two.
Stop.
I do want to watch the rest of these with you. However, I do
Yeah.
also want to show you all freaky stories at some point.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I could
Sounds
be
like a
down.
plan.
I'm feeling
Yeah.
pretty good. Maybe we'll do some of that after this.
Maybe.
But while this is happening, you can send your opinions about the world YAMIZUKAN to oneepisoderule@gmail.com.
Nope. That's one episode cast, I believe.
Is it?
I
It
believe
is,
it's one
right?
episode
Is it?
cast.
Oh, God.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, God.
He's in too deep. He was enjoying the storybook too much and forgot.
You're right.
That's our
one
horror
word.
story.
I'm not the host anymore.
Not the number, it's me. And I'm Magpie now.
Oh my god.
And
We're
I
all
was
gonna
nobody.
shuffle around. I want to be Joey now.
You took my name.
Oh, this outro is a nightmare. If you want to tell us about your anime-related Halloween plans, sure. You can hit us up on Twitter. We are at OneEpisodeCast, and again, that is one the word, not the number.
You wanna come over for my anime Halloween party? There's COVID, so we can't trick or treat. So we're just gonna watch Elfin Light.
We're calling it the Halloween party,
I got
but it just kind of sounds like I have a stuffy nose.
I got Pocky.